Have you ever heard of a war that lasted only 38 minutes? Picture this. We're stepping back in time to the late 19th century, to the era of the British Empire, which held sway over vast territories globally. We're heading to the Sultanate of Zanzibar, an island nestled off the coast of what we now know as Tanzania. Zanzibar was not always an independent entity. In fact, it was a vassal state of Oman for many decades. However, in the year 1890, a shift in power occurred. The ruler of Zanzibar, Khalid bin Bargash, was deposed by the British due to a disagreement. In his place, the British installed Hamad bin Thuwaini as Sultan, seeking to maintain control over the strategic island state. This change of guard set the stage for what was to come. Then, in 1896, Sultan Hamad died, and a power vacuum was created. Suddenly, the throne was empty, and Khalid saw his chance to reclaim his position. The death of Sultan Hamad in 1896 left a power vacuum in Zanzibar, and Khalid, feeling emboldened, decided it was time to make his move. Despite his earlier deposition, Khalid boldly claimed that the throne was rightfully his. He assembled an armed force, marching them right into the Sultan's palace, and declared himself Sultan once again. However, his audacious move wasn't without controversy. The British Empire, with their vested interests in the region, were watching closely. They had a firm grip on Zanzibar's trade and politics, and they weren't keen on Khalid upsetting the balance. His actions were seen as a direct challenge to British dominance, and this was a challenge they were unwilling to ignore. But the British were not about to let Khalid take control without a fight. On August 27, 1896, the British made their move. The sun had barely risen when a small force of 120 sailors and Marines disembarked from British warships anchored in Zanzibar harbor. Their orders, clear and unwavering, were to end Khalid's rebellion. These men, under the command of the unyielding Admiral Harry Rawson, were about to partake in what would later be known as the world's shortest war. The target of their mission was the Sultan's palace, occupied by Khalid and his supporters. The British force advanced, their boots echoing through the early morning silence. Their arrival was met with surprise, but Khalid's forces were quick to react. However, they were no match for the disciplined and well-armed British. The palace was stormed, the battle ensued, but it was over almost as quickly as it had begun. Khalid's forces, faced with overwhelming numbers and firepower, had little choice but to surrender. The palace, once a symbol of Khalid's power, was now a testament to his defeat. The entire battle, from the first footfall of the British soldiers to the last surrendering voice of Khalid's supporters, lasted only 38 minutes. A brief skirmish in the grand scheme of world history, but its significance cannot be understated. In just 38 minutes, the British had effectively ended Khalid's rebellion. The world's shortest war had made a lasting impact on the future of Zanzibar and its relations with the British Empire. With the battle over, the British took swift action. Khalid bin Bargash, the self-proclaimed Sultan, found himself quickly exiled. His audacious bid for power ended not on a throne, but in the isolation of exile. In his place, the British installed a more compliant Sultan, one who would not challenge their influence over Zanzibar. With the dust settled, Britain had, in under an hour, re-established its dominance over Zanzibar's affairs. It was a startling demonstration of their naval prowess and political will. But the war's legacy would reach beyond the politics of Zanzibar. The brevity of this war, a mere 38 minutes from start to finish, caught the world's attention. It was a feat so unusual that it earned an entry into the Guinness Book of World Records as the shortest war based on actual fighting. And so, the Anglo-Zanzibar War became a historic footnote as the world's shortest war. In the grand scheme of history, the Anglo-Zanzibar War is a blip. It was a swift, decisive conflict, lasting only 38 minutes. Yet, its brevity doesn't diminish its significance. The British Empire's quick action to maintain control over Zanzibar's affairs, Khalid's audacious, if ill-fated, bid for power, and the ripple effects of the war's aftermath, all these factors paint a vivid picture of a unique moment in history. I hope you found this overview of this unusual war to be informative. Thank you for watching.